Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Bill O'Reilly just hammers Chris Cuomo when he tries defending Liz Cheney live on air. This is something that you really need to see, particularly when it comes to Liz Cheney. Let's dive in.
Well, I do hope he can resist the sugar high of watching his guys go after the people who went after him, because that is something that could derail his progress. And I don't want to hear that they can do two things at once.
No,
they can't.
They're villains. Liz Cheney is the biggest villain in Republican circles there could possibly be.
Why? Because she's a traitor?
When the House of Representatives said no, because she was so hateful to Trump, and the voters of Wyoming booted her out, even though the Cheney family is one of the most powerful families in that state. But when the Republicans in Congress say she witness tampered, and then the press makes it out like this is some kind of revenge play, if Liz Cheney witness tampered, she deserves the FBI being all over her front lawn. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And I think there's enough evidence to go in and investigate
what they're calling witness tampering. I mean, I've only looked at what they're saying so far. Obviously, they haven't produced anything else. Not that that's some new standard. It's certainly not a legal standard of witness tampering. And there is no small irony.
Yes, it
that
is.
You're going to
it
go
violates
after
a
her
federal law.
Well, depends on what she did. And I don't
know. Look it up.
So far.
No.
Cuomo,
you're wrong.
I know what the law is.
And you're a lawyer.
I know I am. And I was a damn good one. What I'm saying is, we'll see.
If she did it.
We'll see.
If she tried to convince Cassidy Hutchinson, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, you give her due process, certainly. But if she tried to convince Cassidy Hutchinson, all right, behind closed doors, which is the allegation, to testify a certain way in front of the J6 committee, then this woman violated federal law, period.
That's true.
And the FBI
should
be looking into that.
That's fine.
Well, they got to look into it. They got to investigate.
But that's not what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to do a lot more than that, and it's no small irony. You're going to go after her for talking to somebody in a way you think was inappropriate, but you don't, but the same people were okay with what Trump did after the election. I just think you let it go. You won.
What about
and start doing what matters to everybody else.
No, they're not going to let it go.
So we'll see if they can do it.
I wouldn't let it go.
I know. I believe that.
I wouldn't let it go.
I think
because
I think it's a weakness.
You can't have members of Congress at a high-profile position like J6, all right, trying to tamper with a witness, putting words in a witness's mouth when the witness has to testify.
Yeah, but we don't know that she.
You can't.
We don't know that she did that, and
but
she
we need to
held,
have an investigation.
I know, but they're not going to solve it.
The press is objecting to the investigation.
I'm not objecting. I'm saying it's got to be proven.
Maybe they'll hire you and me. Maybe they'll hire you and me. But
we're a formidable
team. You can't prove
team.
anything unless you investigate it.
I know, but it's who should do it. Let the FBI do it. You don't have to do it in Congress. You do nothing well. Focus on the people's concerns. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Kash Patel is salivating to do it.
Oh, I'll bet Kash Patel is salivating to do it. And by the way, Chris Cuomo, I've been defending you at least a little bit because, again, you would at least have the decency to question some things. You're starting to realize that you're just not that deeply curious of a person. And so you're actually starting to work on that. Congratulations. Baby steps is at least a step in the right direction here. But come on. All right, to say that we should let it go, this isn't Frozen. Okay? This isn't a Disney movie where the princess can sing a song and everything goes back to normal. This is not an animated feature. This is reality. And the reality is, Liz Cheney, it likely tampered with a witness when she was on the committee for that certain day in nice cold January back in 2021. And so you would think that Chris Cuomo would then be more curious because apparently he's a lawyer. I did not know that. Thank you, Bill, for that extra piece of information. But as a lawyer and as a paralegal myself, I'd be terrible at it. That's why I'm doing YouTube and not working in a law office. But as someone who has a high amount of respect for the law, when some of my favorite movies are To Kill a Mockingbird, The Caine Mutiny, anything regarding legality, and of course A Few Good Men, I'm going to be more interested in these courtroom dramas. And in this case, Liz Cheney, let's see, who did she tamper with? Uh, she went outside of the lawyer of Cassidy Hutchinson and decided to contact her directly, and that is not proof that there has been any tampering, but it is proof of direct impropriety and going outside of the normal bounds of the law, breaking federal statutes. So, by definition, that's breaking a law. And Chris Cuomo, you're out here saying, well, we don't know what it actually yielded. We don't know what they actually said. That doesn't matter. Okay? It's that simple. That doesn't matter. What matters is Liz Cheney broke the law in order to go after Donald Trump and to gain and glean more information that she used in an illegal fashion. I mean, let's be honest here, when your last name's Cheney, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And that's the ultimate problem here, because now the media's once again pivoting away from the story, saying, oh, this is about revenge. Revenge? Are you kidding me? She broke the law. Okay? That this isn't this isn't some petty revenge game. It's almost the same as Newt Gingrich going after Bill Clinton because he perjured himself in front of Congress. Bill Clinton should have been impeached for perjury because you don't lie under oath. That's practically one of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. That's what perjury is. Bearing false witness. Okay? It's one of the worst things you can do legally. And it should be dealt with by the FBI. Yes, Kash Patel, please, Republicans, nominate this man. We have got to clean up the FBI. Because remember, back in 2016, when Trump was facing off against Hillary Clinton, there was a sort of civil war going on, a major power struggle in the FBI and CIA. Half of them wanted Hillary Clinton because she would continue to enable their policies, and the other half wanted Donald Trump, not because they supported Trump, but because they wanted to remain neutral and thus had to deal with the Clintonites. And the Clintonites won that little back and forth. And now there needs to be a reckoning. There needs to be a cleaning of house. And Liz Cheney investigating her would go a long way to start that process. Because, again, you don't bear false witness. You don't perjure yourself on to the American people like Bill Clinton. And you don't tamper with the witness. You do not put your thumb on the scales of justice. That is a terrible thing that you do when you're going outside of your own power base. And it was such an affront to her voters, not to mention the weird Trump derangement syndrome that she has. I could go on and on about how the Cheneys and the Bushes are basically at the no longer popular kids table, and they're just fuming that they're no longer in power, that they're no longer the cool kids in the lunchroom, and so they're trying to start a food fight in order to get the popular kids in trouble. That's what this ultimately is, a schoolyard food fight, all because the former president and former vice president George W. Bush and Dick Cheney are completely outside of politics now and aren't controlling anything because they did such a terrible job in their early years. All you got to do is just talk to a veteran, and they're going to say, yeah, Bush was terrible, what he did to me and my friends. Okay, that's pretty much all you need to know, but then there's a litany of domestic disasters, and we're just starting to realize just how bad No Child Left Behind really is. We're seeing the issues of the Patriot Act before our very eyes. Again, that's why Trump is wanting to clean house. That's why Daddy's home and the CIA and FBI are getting their due diligence of a good and long overdue spanking. And Liz Cheney is part of that problem because she was at the now unpopular kids table She wanted back into power, and because Donald Trump took that from her, quite literally, sucked all the air out of the room, they've never forgiven him for that, because basically these people are a bunch of theater kids. And I can say that because I'm one. Never allow a conservative theater kid an attempt to show off his stuff. It's going to end very interestingly. But in this case, Liz Cheney decided to go outside the normal bounds of the law. That needs investigation, just because of the idea of breaking the law itself, not because Donald Trump wants revenge. Oh, okay, this isn't about revenge. This is about justice. This is about legality. This is about following the law as set. If you want revenge, let's talk about Alvin Bragg and what might happen to people like Fani Willis, and we'll talk about that issue later, but this currently is not revenge. So Chris Cuomo, bless your heart, you're trying. You're once again trying to carry water because there's this weird, insipid attempt for these media types to swing back to the left, even though the election said, hey, we're trying to get your attention here. You're screwing up. And so Chris Cuomo is going back to that same old well, and he's going to forget the hard way that well has been poisoned by people like, Chris Cuomo. And Bill O'Reilly is doing his best to re-educate Cuomo, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here in Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.